Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Kentucky and the governor there, Beshear, and McConnell, and the constitutions, plural, the U.S. Constitution and the Constitution of Kentucky. And what happens if McConnell creates a vacancy that should be filled by the governor? This is coming up because a number of people have tried to pin the governor down and get him to commit to something. Beshear is a Democrat. Now, under current Kentucky law, a law that was enacted in, I want to say, 2021, and I believe McConnell encouraged it to be enacted, and it was enacted over the veto of Beshear, says that the governor gets to pick from a list of 3 names provided to him by the state party of the outgoing senator. In this case, the Republican state party, like their state apparatus. They would provide a list of 3 names, and Beshear would be able to pick one. That's Kentucky state law. Now, when Beshear vetoed this back in the day, prior to it being overridden, kind of indicated that he viewed it as unconstitutional. And he's got good reason to view it that way, because it very well might be. Both under Section 152 of the Kentucky Constitution and because of the 17th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. There's grounds for his position, and it's pretty solid. I don't know that it's insurmountable, but it's pretty solid. So there have been reporters asking him, are you going to, appoint from the list and all of this stuff? Currently, he is taking the position of there is no vacancy. There's no reason to even talk about this right now. That's kind of the right stance. That is definitely the right move. So for him, not just politically, but also for McConnell. McConnell is elected. The governor of the state should not put out signals that he's ready to replace him. That especially a governor of the opposing party. It's bad politics to do that. So his stance of there isn't a vacancy, we'll talk about it later, that is the right stance, regardless of the constitutional issues at play. I have a feeling the reason he's saying that is because the answer is no. I do not think that he is going to let the current Kentucky law that he's been pretty clear about that he believes violates both the Kentucky state constitution and the U.S. Constitution. I don't think he's just going to comply with it. I believe he's going to challenge it in court. But again, at this point, there is no vacancy. So it's not like he can do this ahead of time. And it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to say you were going to do it when you may never have the ability to do so. Because it's worth remembering, despite his pauses, McConnell has basically vowed to finish his term. So I would expect a whole lot of commentary about this and a whole lot of news outlets diving into this issue and trying to guess how the courts are going to rule if it does get challenged. I would just remind everybody that it's Kentucky. Things change real quick. So I would wait to see how this plays out before you get terribly vested in the storyline. Because, 1, there may never be a vacancy. And 2, if, let's say hypothetically speaking, the state party there puts forward somebody that is acceptable he might not challenge it. I mean, he might do it just on general principle. But if they put forth somebody who is acceptable, maybe he doesn't. It is worth noting to those who are on the Democratic side of the aisle who are going to be like, well, he should appoint a Democrat. There's kind of a tradition, and I think it's actually law in a number of states, that the new appointment needs to be from the same party. So even if he challenges this, my guess would be that he would still choose a Republican, just because of a very long-standing and widespread tradition within the United States when it comes to this. It doesn't really matter in this case. It's not like it would flip the Senate or anything like that. But I feel like it's Kentucky, and that tradition will probably hold even if he challenges and wins. So this is going to be a story, and there's going to be a lot of speculation, especially during periods of not a lot of news. So just be ready for it. Yeah, there's grounds. The Kentucky State Constitution basically says that the governor gets to make the appointment. There's not like restrictions on that. And the whole point of the 17th Amendment, when you really get into it, a big part of it was to take power away from basically the party bosses. Take the power away from them and put it in the hands of the voters. Given the fact that this is saying that the party bosses who aren't elected are going to get to make the decision, I think there might be an argument there too. So if this comes up, I imagine it'll be litigated, but I wouldn't worry about it too much until it does come up. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.